Okay, my second rant today, dealt with my first rant a minute ago, which was the safety Nazis. My second rant today, oh, and before I go on, yes, I know I need a shave, yes, I know I need a haircut. Didn't plan on doing this today, just taking a quick 5 minutes between dropping the kids off for school and going to the grocery store to make this real quick. So yes, I know I need a haircut, yes, I know I need a shave. I look like a homeless person, I know. Gotten those comments before, I'm sure I'll get them again. But the second part of my rant today is going to deal with this idea that some people I'm seeing a lot on the internet lately. I see it a lot on gun forums, and I've actually seen it a few times lately on YouTube. And that's the idea where these people are screwing up this whole concept of if you draw your weapon, you have to be willing to use it. They're confusing that with if you draw your weapon, you have to use it. And I've seen that so many times, and it's just really disheartening that people would actually be that confused. If you draw your weapon, you do have to be willing to use it. I mean, you don't pull a weapon that you're not going to use, or it's either going to be used against you, or you're just going to get yourself beaten silly. You don't have to use it just because you draw it. And I'm seeing so many people failing to make that distinction between the two. If you draw your weapon and it ends the threat, you don't fire your weapon. You don't fire on someone who's no longer a threat to you. Pulling your weapon is 90% of the time at least going to end the threat. People don't attack you thinking they're going to lose. They attack you because they think they have an advantage. As soon as they see they don't have an advantage and that they're even at a disadvantage, they're going to run away. They're going to try to flee. You're never going to shoot a fleeing person. Even if they don't flee, they're probably going to back up. They're going to change their stance. They're going to change how they're acting towards you. They're not going to advance on you. They may backtalk you a little. They may test your resolve. They may try to save a little face. But they're generally not going to advance on you. If they advance on you after you've drawn your weapon, that's when you have to be willing to use it. But this whole idea that if you pull it, you have to use it, that you're not a samurai, you know, your honor's not sullied if you put your weapon away unused, you know, you're not tarnishing your soul if you don't use your weapon. That's just a whole, it's just pathetic. I just keep seeing this time and time again. And I hope these people can really make the distinction, but even when you challenge them on it on some gun forums, they'll argue with you. Like they'll say, well, if you didn't need to fire it, then you didn't need to draw it. That's just ridiculous. Because you may be in danger before you draw it, and then once the sight of that weapon may place you in a position where you're not in danger anymore. So you don't need to fire it. If you can't make that distinction, then you may not be wanting to carry a gun, because you're going to find yourself in criminal court or civil court trying to make that explanation to a judge and a jury of why you fired on someone who was no longer a threat to you. It's just that these guys get so wrapped up in this whole tactical mindset that they think that every life is a movie, and it's just not. And one thing you want to remember, these people that you ridicule, like I was watching someone be ridiculed the other day because he said he had to draw his weapon, but he didn't have to fire it. That the people backed down when he pulled his weapon, and he got chastised by a few different guys for pulling his weapon and not immediately firing. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. And one thing you might want to remember about these guys that you're chastising that have actually had to pull their weapon in self-defense, they have more life experience than probably 95% of these instructors you see online, or you know, that advertise through the internet for self-defense. These guys, most of them have never fired a weapon in self-defense at all. Most they've ever done is fire at a target. They've never been threatened with a weapon. They've never been shot at. I mean, I have a background in military, law enforcement, and I'm a redneck from way back West Virginia, and I've only been fired at a couple of times in my life in the line of duty. I've only had to draw my weapon once in civilian life, and when I drew it, the guys that were trying to carjack us ran away. So, didn't have to fire my weapon, just showed it and said, I am willing to shoot you, and they took off. So there was no reason for me to chase them down and shoot them in the back, and I didn't. It's just a horrible mindset to let yourself get into. And I hope these people start making this distinction, but there's some people who just don't seem to want to make the distinction. I know 99% of us out there can make that distinction, but some people just don't seem to be getting it. And I hope that that changes, because it's just really, really dangerous. That's my rant, my second part of my rant. Like I said, I won't try to make this a habit, because I like to keep my videos positive. But just thought I wanted to say that because I've been seeing it again and again lately. So once again, this is the Yankee Marshal. Thanks for indulging me today, and I shall get back with you again soon, hopefully with some more gun reviews.